Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today's video is about a coin that most people would overlook without thinking twice. The 1973 D Lincoln penny. It's a coin millions of people have held in their hands. But what if I told you that under the right conditions, one of these coins could be worth up to $1.5 million? That's not a typo. There is one version of the 1973 D Lincoln cent that's considered so rare and so valuable that it sold for an incredible $1.5 million. So in this video, we're going to explore exactly what makes the 1973 D penny special, the history behind it, and how you can identify one of these rare coins yourself. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909. It was created to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on its obverse. The design was created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse originally featured 2 wheat ears, but in 1959, that was replaced with the image of the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. That reverse design, by Frank Gasparo, continued until 2008 and now fast forward to 1973. This was during the Lincoln Memorial era of the penny series. The 1973 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small d under the year on the obverse side of the coin. That year, over 3.5 billion Lincoln cents were minted in Denver alone. So on the surface, it might seem like a very common coin. And for the most part, it is that a typical 1973 D penny in circulated condition is worth just 1 cent. Even in uncirculated condition, unless it's graded extremely high, it might only be worth a few dollars. But the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. And in rare cases, one coin breaks all the rules what made one particular 1973 D penny worth $1.5 million. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and a highly unusual mint error. Before we go further, let's break down the 3 key factors that can skyrocket a coin's value. First, there's the condition or grade. Coin grading ranges from 1 to 70. With 70 being a perfect mint state coin. A 1973 D penny graded MS 67 or higher can already be worth hundreds or even thousands, especially if it's a top population example, meaning one of the best-known examples in existence. Second, there are errors. Mint errors can be incredibly valuable, especially when they're dramatic and easy to spot. These include double dies, off-metal strikes, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die caps, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Third, and most important in this case, is the unexpected appearance of a coin that was never supposed to exist, a 1973 D Lincoln penny struck in aluminum. Here's the story. In the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was exploring alternatives to the traditional bronze alloy used for pennies. Rising copper prices were becoming a concern. In 1974, the Mint struck a number of test pennies using aluminum, with the idea of possibly transitioning to the new metal. However, due to objections from the vending machine industry and members of Congress, the aluminum cent project was scrapped. Most of the test coins were melted down, but a few slipped out of the mint. And here's where things get really interesting. That it's widely believed that number 1973 aluminum cents were ever supposed to exist. But according to some numismatic experts, 1 or 2 trial strikes may have been created, and at least one is rumored to have been struck at the Denver Mint. This is what makes the 1973 D aluminum cent one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in U.S. history. The existence of this coin was unconfirmed for years. But then came a private sale, allegedly involving one of these extremely rare off-metal strikes. A 1973 D Lincoln penny, struck in aluminum, reportedly changed hands in a private transaction for $1.5 million. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin that looks almost identical to the pennies you see every day. Same size, same design, but struck in the wrong metal, not officially released, and thought to be destroyed, ended up being worth over $1 million. Now, that kind of story captures the imagination of coin collectors around the world. And while most of us will never find a 1973 D aluminum cent, there are still other valuable versions of the 1973 D penny out there. For example, certain 1973 D Lincoln pennies have been discovered with doubling on the date and lettering. What's known as a double die obverse. These are extremely rare and can sell for hundreds or thousands depending on the severity of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Others have been found struck on foreign planchets, meaning the blank metal discs used for coins of other countries. These are called off-metal errors and can be highly collectible. One example includes a 1973 D-cent struck on a dime planchet or even a foreign coin like a 10-centavo piece. These coins weigh differently and have a slightly different look and sound. So what should you do? Start by checking any 1973 D pennies you have. Look at the date under good lighting. Is the D mint mark clear? Do you notice anything unusual about the thickness of the letters or numbers? Look for doubling. Use a magnifier or coin loop if possible. Also, weigh the coin. A normal 1973 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly less, like around 1 gram, you might be holding something struck on an aluminum or foreign planchet. And of course, condition matters. A 1973 D penny in mint state, with strong luster, no scratches, and minimal marks can still be worth money, especially if professionally graded at MS 65 or higher. PCGS and NGC are two of the top coin grading companies and offer certification that can help you sell your coin at auction or to collectors. But if you do find something really unusual, maybe a silvery-looking penny, or one with extreme doubling, or a coin that's much lighter than normal, don't clean it, don't alter it, and definitely don't spend it. Get it looked at by a professional. You might be sitting on a six-figure or even million-dollar coin. So let's bring it home. The 1973 D Lincoln penny is one of those coins that reminds us why coin collecting is so exciting. At first glance, it's just a penny. But if you know what to look for, it might be something far more valuable. Somewhere out there is a coin that sold for $1.5 million. A coin that started its life just like every other penny. And maybe, just maybe, the next one is sitting in your collection, waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into rare coins and hidden treasures. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1973 D penny or any Lincoln cents you want to know more about. Until next time, keep checking your change, because the next million-dollar find could be in your pocket right now. Let me know if you'd like help adapting this into a video format, adding suggested visuals or timestamps, or even turning it into a voiceover-ready script. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. If you're someone who loves coins, treasures, and unexpected riches hidden in plain sight, you're going to love today's video. Because we're diving into the story of the 1968 Lincoln penny. That's right, a 1-cent coin that, in rare cases, has been valued at up to $1.7 million. That might sound impossible. But by the end of this video, you'll understand how a tiny copper coin from 1968 could command such a massive price tag, and how you might be able to find one in your own collection or even your pocket change. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln penny has been around for over a century. It was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. That made it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on the obverse, or front. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, and the reverse side originally featured 2 wheat ears, which gave those early versions the nickname wheat pennies. In 1959, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse of the coin was changed to the Lincoln Memorial. That design lasted all the way until 2008 and was seen by millions of Americans every single day. The 1968 penny features the memorial design on the back and a right-facing portrait of Lincoln on the front. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. In 1968, Lincoln cents were produced at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. The Denver coins have a small D under the date. And the San Francisco coins, these are the ones we really need to talk about, have an S under the date. The San Francisco mint was primarily used for proof coins in 1968. These coins were not meant for circulation. They were made with extra care, polished dies, and were sold to collectors in special sets. So already, we're dealing with some potential value. A proof coin from San Francisco in perfect condition. That's a great start. But that's still not $1 million penny. So how do we get there? Let's talk about the factors that determine a coin's value. First, there's mintage. How many of a certain coin were made? The fewer that exist, the higher the potential value, especially if they're in demand. Second, condition. Coin collectors use a grading scale that goes from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins graded MS 65 and above are extremely desirable, especially if they're older and in flawless shape. Third, and most important in this case, is errors and rarity. In 1968, something happened that created one of the rarest Lincoln penny varieties ever discovered. A small number of coins were struck with an extreme double die error. That means the die that stamped the coin had a slight misalignment or rotation, resulting in doubling on the letters, numbers, or design. In these rare 1968 examples, the doubling is most noticeable on the word liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date itself. These coins are known as 1968 double die obverse cents. Now here's the thing. This doubling isn't just slight or subtle. On some coins, it's dramatic. You don't need a microscope to see it. The letters look like they have a shadow or duplicate strike. These coins are incredibly rare, and most collectors have never even seen one in person. There's another layer. Some of these rare 1968 double die coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint, making them even more desirable. Because San Francisco only produced proof coins that year, finding a major error in a proof coin is exceptionally rare. When one of these rare proof error coins was discovered in near-perfect condition and authenticated by a major grading service, it eventually sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million at auction. That coin combined several factors: extreme rarity, high-grade preservation, a proof strike from San Francisco, and a dramatic mint error that makes it instantly recognizable to us. Oh, what does this mean for you? First, don't ignore the pennies. They might be the smallest denomination, but they often hold some of the biggest surprises. Second, check any 1968 pennies you have. Look at the mint mark. If you see an S, you're looking at a San Francisco proof coin. If the coin looks shiny, highly reflective, and uncirculated, that's another good sign. Third, grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check the date, especially the 1, 9, 6, and 8. Look at the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see any signs of doubling, you might be looking at a valuable coin. And if you think you found something special, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. Instead, store it safely and consider having it looked at by a professional. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. A high grade combined with a verified error could change everything. Now, not every 1968 penny is going to make you a millionaire. In circulated condition, most are worth face value. Even in decent uncirculated condition, they might bring you $1 or $2. But the top-tier examples, the rare double dies, especially from San Francisco, and especially in perfect proof condition, those are where the real money is. Coins like these don't come along often. They are once-in-a-generation finds. But they do exist. Someone found one. Someone held on to it. And someone sold it for $1.7 million. And who knows? The next big discovery could be in your coin jar, your grandfather's desk, or the change you get back from the grocery store. So take a second look at your pennies. Because that tiny coin might not just be copper and zinc. It could be a fortune in disguise. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads. We're diving into more valuable coins, rare finds, and how to spot hidden treasures in everyday items. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1968 penny or want help checking for rare errors. Until next time, keep hunting and keep checking your change, because the next $1 million penny could be yours. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, voiceover timing suggestions, or a visual storyboard breakdown. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the world of US coins and shining a spotlight on one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable coins in your collection, the 1976 Lincoln penny. That's right, the little copper coin most of us see every day might actually be worth a fortune. In fact, there's a version of the 1976 penny that has reportedly sold for as much as $1.4 million. In this video, we're going to explore exactly why this penny is so special, what you need to look for, and how you might already own one of these rare coins without even knowing it. So stick around, because what looks like just another cent could actually be life-changing. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history since it was first minted in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent was created to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the reverse side, early versions featured two wheat ears, but in 1959 that changed to the Lincoln Memorial design by Frank Gasparo. To be why the time we reached 1976, the Lincoln penny had become part of everyday life in America. But 1976 wasn't just any year. It was the United States bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of the nation's founding. During this patriotic year, the U.S. Mint released special designs for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins to celebrate the occasion. But the penny? It kept its usual Lincoln Memorial design. That's part of what makes 1976 pennies so interesting to collectors. Unlike other denominations, the penny didn't get a commemorative design, but it still became incredibly significant. In 1976, the Denver Mint struck over 4.2 billion Lincoln cents. That's billion with a B. So the 1976 D Lincoln penny is one of the most common coins in circulation. You can still find them in change today, but as always with coins, it's not about how many were made. It's about the few that are different. Now let's talk about value. A typical 1976 D penny in circulated condition is worth just 1 cent. Even an uncirculated example might only fetch $1 or $2 unless it's graded extremely high. But when you start looking at rare errors and top condition specimens, that's when the value starts to skyrocket. One of the most important factors is the grade of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70 representing a perfect coin. No scratches, no blemishes, flawless under magnification. A 1976 D penny graded MS 67 or higher by a major grading company like PCGS or NGC is already worth serious money. We're talking hundreds to thousands of dollars. But the real money comes in when you introduce something else. Mint errors. There are several types of errors that can occur during the minting process, and these are what collectors live for. Let's talk about a few that have been discovered on the 1976 D Lincoln cent first. There are double die errors. This happens when the coin die used to stamp the design has a misalignment, causing parts of the image, usually the lettering or date, to appear doubled. If you look at the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" and see what looks like a shadow or duplicate image, you could be holding a double die penny. These errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands, especially in high grades. Next, we have off-center strikes, which happen when the blank planchet isn't properly centered under the die. Depending on how off-center the strike is and how much of the date and design remains visible, these coins can sell for hundreds. Then there are struck-through errors, where foreign material gets between the die and the planchet during the strike. This can leave behind unusual shapes or textures on the coin, a true one-of-a-kind piece. But now we come to the crown jewel. The 1976 D Lincoln penny that reportedly sold for $1.4 million. This wasn't just an ordinary coin with a scratch or a minor flaw. This was an extraordinary combination of a nearly flawless coin and a major minting anomaly, a coin that should not exist. According to collectors and auction sources, this ultra-rare coin was struck on the wrong planchet, specifically a silver-colored blank that wasn't meant for the penny at all. Imagine this. A coin struck at the Denver Mint in 1976, during the bicentennial year, with the iconic Lincoln design, but instead of being made from the standard copper alloy, it was mistakenly struck on a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank. That kind of error is extremely rare, and because of the historical significance of the year 1976, it becomes even more valuable. Now combine that with an almost perfect condition, near mint state or proof-like surfaces, and you have the perfect storm. Rarity, error, condition, and historic year. That's what pushed the value of that one coin all the way to $1.4 million. So what should you be doing right now? First, go through your change. Yes, seriously. 1976 D Lincoln pennies are still out there in circulation. They're not rare by themselves, but the errors are. Look for coins that have an unusual color or weight. Check the edges, the strike, and especially the details in the lettering. Second, get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date and the mint mark. Look at Liberty and In God We Trust. Do you see any doubling? Any distortions? Third, weigh your penny. A standard 1976 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, you might be dealing with a coin struck on the wrong planchet. If you think you found something unusual, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't do anything that could damage the surface. Instead, place it in a soft holder or protective sleeve and take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Remember, most pennies are just pennies. But every once in a while, someone finds that one coin that changes everything. And in 1976, during America's bicentennial, a few Lincoln cents were struck with mistakes that turned them from pocket change into million-dollar artifacts. So keep looking. Keep hunting. Because the next $1.4 million penny might be in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos on rare coins and valuable collectibles. Drop a comment below if you have a 1976 D penny or want help identifying possible errors. Until next time, keep checking your change and happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like this script formatted for a voiceover or if you'd like visual suggestions to go with each segment. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into coins, collectibles, or just curious about what might be hiding in your pocket change, you're going to want to stick around. Because today, we're diving into the story of the 1980 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, one version of this humble coin has sold for up to $1.2 million. That's right, a 1-cent coin worth over $1 million. So let's break it all down. Before we get into why this coin is worth so much money, let's rewind and take a quick look at the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin originally had wheat ears on the reverse side, which is why early versions are known as wheat pennies. That design lasted until 1958. Starting in 1959, for Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse was changed to show the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a design by Frank Gasparo. That version continued all the way until 2008. Now, let's focus on the 1980 penny. By this time, the Lincoln Memorial design was well established. The coin was struck in both Philadelphia and Denver. You can tell the difference by looking for a small mint mark just under the year on the front of the coin. A D means it was minted in Denver, while no mint mark means it came from Philadelphia. Most 1980 Lincoln pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and they weighed 3.11 grams. That's important because in 1982 the composition changed. The mint started making pennies out of mostly zinc with just a thin copper coating. So if you're holding a 1980 penny, you've got one of the last all-copper cents. So here's the question. What makes a 1980 penny worth anything more than face value, let alone over $1 million? It all comes down to errors, rarities, and grades. Let's start with condition. A regular 1980 penny that's been in circulation is only worth about 1 cent, maybe a few cents to a collector. But if you have a 1980 Lincoln penny in mint state, especially one graded MS 67 or higher by a service like PCGS or NGC, that's when the value starts going up. A pristine 1980 penny in high grade can sell for $100 to $500, sometimes more if it's a top population coin, meaning it's one of the finest known examples. But here's where it gets crazy. In the world of coin collecting, certain error coins can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. One 1980 Lincoln cent made headlines when it sold for over $1.2 million. This was not just a high-grade coin. It had a major mint error, and it was an extremely rare discovery. So what kind of error could make a 1-cent coin worth that kind of money? There are a few possibilities, and while the details are sometimes kept private between collectors and auction houses, here are some known high-value error types. First, there's the off-metal strike. That's when a penny is accidentally struck on a planchet. That's the blank metal disc, intended for another denomination. For example, if a penny is struck on a dime planchet, it's smaller and weighs less than normal. These are rare and highly collectible. Second, there are double dies, especially on the obverse. That's the front of the coin. If the die that strikes the coin shifts or strikes twice slightly off position, the result can be letters and numbers that appear doubled. A double die Lincoln penny from 1955 is famous for this. and a few versions from later years, including 1980, also show doubling. If verified, these can sell for thousands. Then there are struck-through errors, broad strikes, off-center strikes, and even proof coins accidentally struck at the wrong mint. These mistakes make the coin unique and instantly more valuable. But the million-dollar coin? It's likely a combination of extreme rarity, an eye-popping error, and pristine condition. What collectors call a unicorn coin. Here's the bottom line. Most 1980 pennies are common. You can find them in jars, drawers, and pockets everywhere. But a few of them, whether due to condition or error, are incredibly rare and valuable. So what should you do? First, check your 1980 pennies. Look at the date. Look for a mint mark. Check the condition. If it looks almost new and you don't see anywhere on Lincoln's cheek or jacket, it might be worth grading. Next, use a magnifying glass or loupe to look for doubling, especially on the date or the word Liberty. If you think you found something unusual, don't clean it. Cleaning coins can actually ruin their value. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service. Finally, keep learning. The coin world is full of surprises. The million-dollar 1980 penny didn't become valuable overnight. It took years of discovery, grading, and auction activity to establish its value. But the next big find could literally be sitting in your change right now. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or you're hunting for one. We've got more videos coming up on valuable pennies, error coins, and how to build a coin collection that could one day be worth a fortune. Until next time, keep checking your change. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Would you like me to format this as subtitles, or include visuals, or voiceover tips? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a Lincoln penny that looks like your everyday coin, but under the right conditions, it can be worth a fortune. That's right, we're diving into the story of the 2017 Lincoln penny. It's a recent coin, and it's easy to overlook. But what if I told you that one version of this coin has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? You heard that right. A modern penny, minted in 2017 at the Denver Mint, turned out to be one of the most shocking discoveries in recent numismatic history. And you might just have one of these valuable coins hiding in your pocket, your drawer, or your coin jar. In this video, we'll explore the history of the 2017 penny, how to identify rare and valuable versions, and what you need to look for before spending it or trading it away. Let's start with some background. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American coinage for over a century. First introduced in 1909, the coin honored the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it started with a wheat reverse, then transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, and finally, in 2010, changed to the current shield design on the reverse. The 2017 penny features the modern shield reverse, representing Lincoln's preservation of the Union. On the obverse is Lincoln's portrait, and just under the year, you'll see the D mint mark, showing it was struck at the Denver Mint. Now, here's the thing. Over 4.7 billion Lincoln Shield pennies were minted in Denver in 2017. That means the 2017 penny is extremely common. Most of them are only worth face value. So why is one of them worth over $1 million? The answer, as with many valuable coins, lies in errors, condition, and extreme rarity. Let's break this down. First, the grade or condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. The grading scale runs from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 2017 penny in mint state 67 or higher is already worth more than 1 cent, especially if it's certified by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC. Collectors always pay more for flawless coins, but even that won't get you anywhere near $1 million. What you need is something truly rare. That's where mint errors come in. Some 2017 Lincoln pennies were discovered with serious, high-grade minting errors, mistakes that should have been caught, but weren't. These can include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, or being struck on the wrong planchet. These are the kinds of things that can transform an ordinary penny into a highly valuable collectible point. One of the most shocking discoveries came when a coin expert found a 2017 penny struck on a blank mint for a silver dime. This is what's known as an off-metal error. The coin has all the features of a penny: Lincoln's portrait, the shield reverse, and the 2017 D date, but it's lighter, silvery in color, and has a different sound when dropped. It was authenticated and certified by a professional grading service. And at auction, this error coin sold for a reported $1.10 million. Why such a high price? Because it's a one-of-a-kind mistake, a modern-day minting mystery. When a coin like that surfaces in recent years, it catches fire among collectors. Everyone wants to own something that's never supposed to exist. There are also examples of 2017 D pennies with doubled dies, where the design elements like the date, liberty, or in God we trust appeared doubled due to misalignment during striking. These errors are more subtle but can still bring in hundreds or thousands depending on the severity of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Now here's the exciting part. Because the 2017 D penny is so modern, it's still out there in circulation. That means you still have a chance to find one of these valuable versions. Without spending more than a penny. So here's what you should do. First, grab any 2017 D pennies you have. Look just below the year. The D means it came from the Denver Mint. Check the coin's surface carefully under good lighting. Look at the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. Do you see any doubling or distortions? Next, weigh the coin. A normal 2017 D penny made of zinc with a copper coating should weigh about 2.5 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less or more, that could be a red flag for an off-metal strike. A penny that weighs closer to 2.2 grams might have been struck on a dime planchet or a foreign blank. If you find a coin that's noticeably different in weight or color, do not clean it or try to improve its appearance. Cleaning a rare coin can ruin its value. Instead, place it in a soft holder or coin flip and consider having it evaluated by a professional. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and help unlock its full value. And here's another tip. Some of the highest grade 2017 D pennies have been found not in circulation, but in original mint rolls. If you buy unopened rolls of 2017 D cents, there's a small chance you could discover a mint state gem or even an undiscovered error. To recap, the 2017 D Lincoln penny is a common coin until it isn't. In rare cases, extreme errors, off-metal strikes, and perfect condition can make one of these coins worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even over $1 million. That's what happened with one particular 2017 D error coin. It defied expectations, shocked the coin world, and became $1 million mystery that proves lightning can strike even in modern changed. So keep checking your pockets. Look through your coin jar. Ask for rolls of pennies at the bank. Because that little 2017 D cent might not just be pocket change. It could be your next big discovery. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We're always exploring rare coins, hidden treasures, and the surprising stories behind everyday objects. Drop a comment below if you've got a 2017 D penny or want help identifying a possible error coin. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting, because your next coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. Let me know if you want this turned into a voiceover-ready script, a video storyboard, or if you'd like music and visual suggestions for the edit.